Hi guys. So in the last lecture we see the Mughal architecture and different type of Mughal rulers, Aurangzeb, Shah Jahan, Akbar, etc. Sher Suri, etc. And now we are moving towards the Rajput style. So let us dig into that. Rajput construction. Uh, The Rajput construction of the period was also influenced by the Mughal style because जो पहले से चल रहा है उसको एकदम से खत्म कर देना इज लाइक क्वाइट इनफ लाइक टफ है ना. तो वो तो पार्ट आपको थोड़ा कैरी करना ही पड़ता है. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय मुगल आर्क स्टाइल. बट वो यूनिक इन साइज एंड स्कोप ऑफ their कंस्ट्रक्शन बट ऑल्सो इट इज यूनिक है ना. सो यूनिक इन साइज एंड स्कोप. They generally undertook the building of imposing palaces and fort. Basically palaces and forts बनते थे. Some of the unique feature of Rajput architecture क्या था? Concept of hanging balcony. Hanging balcony झरोखा बोल देते हैं उसको. uh, which were constructed in all shapes of course. The cornices were built in the shape of an arc such that the shadow took the shape of a box. Like जो कॉर्निसेस थी उनको आर्क की फॉर्म में ताकि नीचे जो शैडो बने वो बॉक्स की. ओके. एग्जांपल वेरी बेस्ट एग्जांपल इज द हवा महल है ना. कमिंग टू द सिक्स स्टाइल. So six style is architecture developed in the reign of the modern day Punjab. So basically what is happening. तो राजस्थान और पंजाब की बात करें तो यहाँ पे जब मुगल पीरियड चल रहा था उसी टाइम पे राजस्थान और पंजाब में दो आर्किटेक्चर ने जन्म लिया. So one of them is Rajput style called and second one is Sikh style. So it was heavily influenced by Mughal style and Rajput style of architecture. Some of the features क्या थे? Use of multiple chhatris in kiosk on the top of the construction. So you can see this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. बहुत ज़्यादा है ना. Use the shallow cornices in the corner of the dome. Cornices in onion domes type structure. ठीक है. The buildings had fluted domes, which were generally covered with brass and copper gills for decoration and support. So you can see, now this is Harvinder Sahib. The arches were decorated by the use of numerous foliations. Foliations. Uh, Forming into a leaf type of structure. Let us just see the images. Okay. Okay. पिक्चर ओपन हो ही नहीं जिसके लिए किया था जा रही है. Rocks foliations. Process image rock divided into layer. Layer मतलब basically a leaf type of structure. दिख भी नहीं रहा. ओके. गोल्डन टेम्पल. ठीक है. 16th-17th century. Awadh architecture. So the mainly revolved around the Lucknow and were built by the Nawabs of Awadh during this period. Okay. Coming to the Awadh architecture, 18th-19th century, they attempted to preserve Mughal tradition along with experimenting with a variety of materials and innovative ideas. बेसिकली बोथ रिलीजियस एज वेल एज सेकुलर स्ट्रक्चर्स थे. मोटार. ठीक है. मार्बल नहीं यूज कर रहे थे. सैंडस्टोन भी नहीं. मोटार यूज कर रहे थे. ब्रिक डस्ट, उड़द दाल एंड राइस हस्क एंड ट्री गम. ठीक है. प्रोमिनेंट स्ट्रक्चर्स. बड़ा इमाम बाड़ा लखनऊ, छोटा इमाम बाड़ा लखनऊ, रूमी दरवाजा, टर्किश गेट. Why it is Turkish influence? Okay, let us just forget coming to the architecture of Kashmir. Okay. Development of Kashmiri architecture can be broadly divided into two important phases. So two phase कौन से थे? Political rule, early medieval Hindu period. So basically two phases. One is the early medieval Hindu period, and the second one is that 14th century onwards, the Muslim rules. No major monuments that were made prior to 600 AD exist, except few Buddhist monuments such as monasteries and stupas uh, were discovered at Harma and Ushkai. Temples देखें कश्मीर के तो the Kashmiri temple architecture have the unique features situated to local geography and are renowned for their exiguous tight stone carvings. So temples, though known for the exquisite exquisite stone carvings. Due to their location on the important trade routes, the architectural style is inspired by many foreign styles. Greatest height कब reach हुआ ये? Great height under Karkota and Pala dynasty. Now moving next. Main features are trefoil arches, गांधारा influence था, सेल्युलर को बेसिकली ट्रैवलर्स आते जाते रहते थे तो उनका इन्फ्लुएंस भी था यहाँ पे. Cellular layout, straight edged pyramidal route, pyramidal route, column walls, Greek से triangular pediment, Greek relatively more number of steps. Martand Sun Temple. So this is basically located in Anantnag district of Kashmir, built in 8th century by the dynasty Karakota. ठीक है. ललित ललित आदित्य Muktapidah. ठीक है. It is considered to be the synthesis of various school of architecture Gandhara, Chinese, Gupta. So it is basically Gandhara plus Chinese plus the Gupta. The complex is in the shape of a courtyard surrounded by the columns. The main temple was a pyramidal top and carvings of gods like Vishnu, river Ganga, Yamuna and the sun god. This is a type of structure. आप height भी देख सकते हैं पंचायताना style. ठीक है. Temples of Avantipura. There are two temples, namely Avantiswamy of Lord Vishnu and Avantiswara, dedicated to the Shiva. It was built by the king Avantivarman, the first king of Utpala dynasty. Avantiswamy Avantiswara, Vishnu god and Shiva, built by Avantivarman, Utpala dynasty. 9th century में बने थे. The temple is inside a paved courtyard and has four shrines. Okay. In its four corners, the gateway has a two chambered chambers and it's carved out eloquently. Roman and Gandhara influence clearly found. Okay. Pandirathan temple, it was also called Meruvardhan Swami temple and is dedicated to the Vishnu, but images of Shiva also exists. It was carved out of a single block of stone and exquisite carvings on its wall. It was constructed in 10th century AD near the Srinagar arching roofs. This is the temple, so arch roofs. ठीक है, you can see the structure. The roofs are also arched. Mamaleshwar Shiva, it was located in the Pahalgaon and built across around the 400 AD. It finds mention in the classic Sanskrit text रजत अरंगिनी इस टेक्स्ट में भी इसका जिक्र है. Parasapur monuments. It was located in the modern day Parasapur. It was built by Lalitaditya Muktapada in the 8th century, who made Parihaspora his capital. It has temples dedicated to Vishnu, Parihaskena Lord, and it has few Buddhist structures. Architectural development under Islamic rules. Establishment of Muslim rule led to the blend of existing Kashmiri style and so architectural development during इस्लामिक बिकॉज दो रूल थे ना, एक हिंदू और एक इस्लामिक रूल, ठीक है. तो उस दौरान क्या हुआ, तो ब्लेंड ऑफ कश्मीरी प्लस इस्लामिक सेंसिबिलिटी. The monuments were mostly squared in shape. The mosques were made of wood, brick, and stone masonry. There is an absence of cloisters and domes. Instead, multi-leveled, sloping roofs and tall spires are found. So you can say multi-level, like टॉम नहीं है यहाँ पे. इट्स द काइंड ऑफ लाइक जो हमने शिखर पढ़ा था, ठीक है, अमलक पढ़ा था, वो काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर है, ठीक है. जामा मस्जिद श्रीनगर 370 वोट पिलर्स, ठीक है. Carved dome is notably absent, of course. Ali Masjid Srinagar. It was built in 15th century by the Shah Miri king Sultan Hassan Shah. It was the second largest mosque in the Kashmir Valley. Absence of dome is seen in the monument made by timber and stone. Pari Mahal, so let's write down the names. Jamia Masjid Srinagar, Ali Masjid again Srinagar, Pari Mahal, Mughal prince, constructed by the Mughal prince Dara Sikho. It also had an observatory. It is a marvelous terraced structure situated in hill overlooking Dal Lake. Dal Lake. Gardens of Kashmir. So the Mughal kings built a lot of gardens and also inspired by Persian designs. They were constructed in Chahbag style, water stream, mountains and trees. So they form an important part of the gardens. Now let us the gardens ki names. It is Chashme Shahi, शालीमार शालीमार बाग, ठीक है, जहांगीर ने बनाया था ये. निशत बाग, लार्जेस्ट मुगल गार्डन इन द वैली नियर द डल लेक. बादामवाड़ी गार्डन, वेरीनाग और अचपल गार्डन्स. पारसी कम्युनिटी के टेम्पल्स. Okay. When coming to the Parsi community temples, there are three major type of fire temples of the Parsi faith. The first was Atas Behram. Basically क्या है ये? Three major types क्या थे इसके? Which is Atash Behram. Second is Atash Adaran, Atash Dadga. There are 8 Atash Behrams in India and more than 100 Dadgas, mostly located in Maharashtra and Gujarat. So, what is Atash Behram first? The exterior is generally kept simple because the idea is to hold a sacred fire and yasana ceremony, prayers, rather than glorification of the faith. It has an inner sanctum, मतलब गर्भगृह अंदर है इसका, which where fire is kept. So, inner sanctum where fire is kept. Sanctum where fire is kept. The structures have vent for smoke to escape. Of course, the performance of ceremony is considered to be of the highest order and involves elaborate arrangements. They are performed by the eight high priests called the stools. Performed by high priests called the stools. Okay, Atash Behram is the highest grade of fire. Atash Behram is highest grade fire. 16 type of fire. 16 type of fire. 8 Atash Behrams fire temples are in India, so देखेंगे हम उनके बारी बारी डिटेल में. दोदी सेठ वाडिया, मोदी एंड वकील अतश बेहरम, बाबर साथ, अंजुमन अतश बेहरम, गुजरात अगेन, ईरान शाह. तो देखिए गुजरात, मुंबई एंड देन सूरत, गुजरात. Sun temples in India. The Sun Temple has been revered since the Vedic age and many hymns written for the celestial body. It is worshipped as Aditya or Surya under Hinduism, so there are many rituals in the practice of worshipping the deity. Many temples have also been constructed with the sun and the chief sun as the chief deity. अब बेसिकली सन को वर्शिप किया जाता है और कई मंदिर ऐसे हैं जिनमें चीफ डेटी जो मेन भगवान है वो सन का ही मंदिर है बेसिकली. सन टेम्पल्स आर इवन फाउंड इन जापान, इजिप्ट एंड चाइना. Some of the Rajput clans, namely Suryavanshi, worship the sun and claim to be the descendants of the deity. Some of the major sun temples are follow as मोढेरा और कोणार्क तो सबको पता है, ठीक है. इस ब्रह्मपुत्र देव ब्रह्मण्य देव टेम्पल मध्य प्रदेश नाव में है. सूर्यनार काबिल तमिलनाडु. सूर्य नारायण स्वामी टेम्पल अरसवल्ली आंध्र प्रदेश. दक्षिणार्का टेम्पल गया बिहार. नवलाखा टेम्पल घुमली. न सूर्य पहाड़ टेम्पल गोलपार, ठीक है. मारतंड सन टेम्पल कश्मीर. Cherrydew Madams. Cherrydew is a town in Assam and it was first capital of Ahom Kingdom. Let us just write it down. It was town in Assam and first capital of Assam. Sorry, Ahom Kingdom. It was set up by the first Ahom king Chaulang Sukha. Chaulang Sukha, ठीक है. 1229 AD. Sorry. Coming to the modern architecture. So the arrival of the European colonists. Okay, let's just give a moment. Okay. The arrival of the European colonists coincided with the decline of Mughal Empire, which started the power struggle among the Portuguese, French, Dutch, Danish, and British. Okay. However, the Europeans also brought with wealth them a wealth of architecture style, which can be seen in the numerous construction. So Portuguese influence modern architecture में आ गए हम अब. सो पोर्तुगीज में जाएंगे सबसे पहले. तो बेसिकली 2.3 यहाँ चलेंगे. The Portuguese brought with them so they brought with them the Iberian style. They initially built trading posts and warehouses, which were later remodeled into fortified towns along the coastlines. Basically, वो आगे बात हो रही है. They introduced the concept of patio houses and Baroque style, developed in the late 16th century in Europe to express the strength of church. It, it had elaborate, detailed, and theatrical designs to create a dramatical effect. It involves the contrasting colors. Basically, theatrical effect देने के लिए contrast color का एक technique use की गई. Okay, some of the notable constructions are Cathedral in Goa was completed in 1619. It was built in the Portuguese late Gothic style. It is a large, okay, it has a large bell called the Golden Bell. Basilica of Bom Jesus, so Holy Jesus, Goa. It is a World Heritage Site built in barbecue style. So it is Basilica of Bom Jesus. World Heritage Site built in Baroque style. It has the body of a revered Saint Francis Xavier. So Castella de Agora in Mumbai, Saint Paul Church. It is built in Baroque style. Dew Fort was built in 15 Dew Island. 1535 AD. Coasts of Dew Island. Lighthouse Act. Cannons are also placed on the walls. Three churches inside the fort complex, namely Saint Thomas, Saint Paul, and Church Saint Francis of Assisi. गोवा में एक और चर्च है, ठीक है, बारोque स्टाइल से सेंट एने. तो फ्रेंच इन्फ्लुएंस की बात करें तो फ्रेंच ब्रॉट द कंसेप्ट ऑफ अर्बन सिटी प्लानिंग. फ्रेंच इन्फ्लुएंस, so they basically brought the concept of urban city planning. The French towns of Pondicherry and Chandranagar, West Bengal was built using the Cartesian grid plans and scientific architectural designs. So they built imposing buildings as a show of power. They also introduced the concept of anonymous architecture, which involves a simple facade without much ornamentation or design, much like modern buildings. बेसिकली देखो, पुरानी बिल्डिंग में नक्काशी तो होती थी या फिर ऑर्नामेंटेशन या कैलीग्राफी तो है, नई बिल्डिंग में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. तो ये भी एक एनोनिमस चीज़ आती है आज की बिल्डिंग में. एनोनिमस आर्किटेक्चर को देख सकते हो आप कि कुछ फॉलो नहीं करते, मतलब बेसिक डिज़ाइन जो टाइल्स लगाई जाती हैं खत्म, ठीक है, कोई ऑर्नामेंटेशन या फिर कैलीग्राफी नहीं है. The French designs, much like modern building, the French also developed the coastal known as Mehe, Karikal, Yanam, etc. British influence. The British brought them with the Gothic style. So British influence की बात करें तो come up with the Gothic style. It merged with the Indian architecture and result in and तो ये बन गया Indo plus Gothic ना. After 1911, a new style of architecture known as Neo-Roman. So after 1911, Neo-Roman architecture emerged. Indo-Gothic style, also known as the Victorian style, it was a unique blend of Indian, Persian, and Gothic styles. Indo-Gothic की बात करें तो basically Indo-Gothic की बात करें तो it is all called as the Victorian style. Unique blend of Indian, Persian, and Gothic. So it is basically a Indian, Persian plus the Gothic. ठीक है. The construction were extremely large and elaborate in their execution. The walls were thinner and the Indo-Islamic constructions. Arches were pointed, unlike the curving. So देखो, pointed arches are nothing but ऐसे ऐसे वाला structure, some kind, है ना? One of the unique feature of the Victorian style was the use of large windows, of course, such as at a crucified ground plane. Advanced structural engineering standard from Britain, स्टील आयरन पोर्ड होती थी. विक्टोरियन मेमोरियल देखा जा सकता है कोलकाता का. इबेरियन वर्सेस गॉथिकल में आप देखेंगे तो मटेरियल का फर्क आएगा. ब्रिक यूज की जाती है इबेरियन में या रेड सैंडस्टोन. स्ट्रक्चरल वेरिएशन में पोर्तुगीज कंटिन्यूज विद द वेस्टर्न ट्रेडिशन एंड डिड नॉट इंट्रोड्यूस एनी स्ट्रक्चरल वेरिएशन. यहाँ नहीं आए, लेकिन यहाँ पे जो स्ट्रक्चरल वेरिएशन आए वो इंडो गॉथिक स्टाइल ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर से आए. ठीक है. न्यू रोमन स्टाइल जो हमने अभी देखा, न्यू रोमन स्टाइल. So after 1911, the construction undertaken by the British Raj were carried out according to this style. Neoclassical बोल लो, Neo-Roman बोल लो. The architecture of New Delhi carried out by Edmund Lutyens and the Hubbard Baker were the finest example. Architecture of New Delhi by Edwin Lutyens and Hubbard Baker is a finest example of this style. It has been often described as the Rome of Hindustan. ठीक है, basically the constructions were anonymous. ठीक है, basically anonymous ही रखा जाता था without any interesting features. It was confluence of all style of architectures which made the style congested and cramped the space of artistic expressions. देखो, बहुत सारी चीज़ें हो जाए ना, अगर आपके पास 50 शर्ट्स रखती जाएँ तो आपको चूज करने में थोड़ा टफ हो जाएगा. तो वही स्टाइल के आर्किटेक्चर की समस्या थी कि बहुत ज़्यादा यूज़ करने से इनका विज़न थोड़ा, देखो बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें आपके पास ऑप्शंस तो हैं, बट वो आपका एक आर्टिस्टिक चीज़ चली जाती है. ठीक है. सिमिलरली मॉडर्निटी एंड यूटिलिटी, अगर ऑफकोर्स इस चीज़ से आपको पॉजिटिव वे में लेना हो तो आपके बहुत चीज़ें, तो आपको एक बहुत अच्छी चीज़ भी एक बना सकते हो. ठीक है. Simplicity, modernity, and utility were highly compromised during the hybrid nature of the constructions. सिंप्लिसिटी कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर ली गई, वो बहुत सारी चीज़ें फैंसी बना दिया. मॉडर्निटी कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर ली. ठीक है. देयर वाज नो फोकस ऑन सर्कुलर बिल्डिंग्स. दे वर overuse of oriental motifs to realize western architectural design. Okay, the concept of upturned dome can be seen in the Supreme Court and Rashtrapati Bhavan can be introduced. Okay, so upturned dome is is introduced in this era, used in Rashtrapati Bhavan and Supreme Court. These are some of the architects or something. Okay, so the Great Trigonometrical Survey was a project which is undertaken by the British East India Company to survey the entire Indian subcontinent. Okay, English geographer and pioneer of oceanography. Their most significant work was the accurate Bengal Atlas, detailed map of India. There are some of the prominent persons के नाम जो याद रखने होते हैं, और मतलब अलेक्जेंडर कनिंघम, अभी भी हमने ये देखा भी था इसको. ठीक है. आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे फाउंड किया था जिन्होंने, है ना, कनिंघम. इंग्लिश स्कॉलर एंड जेम्स प्रिंसिप, इंग्लिश स्कॉलर एंड एंटीक्वेरी. Now moving next, some of the important archaeological sites. So it is Chandraketugad. It is an archaeological site located in the Bianthri River, North District, West Bengal. It is one of the most talked about the mysterious sites filled with amazing terracotta sculptures. Northern black polished ware, relics and sculpture during the Maurya are used here. Sothi Siswal culture. Sothi is an early archaeological site of pre-Indus Valley civilization settlement. So Buzaram archaeological sites, Jiang Dhansir Valley, असम ऑफ कोर्स, अम्बा देवी रॉक शेल्टर्स कहाँ पे, मध्य प्रदेश, सुख एंशियंट माउंट इनाम गांव, देवजली असम ऑफ कोर्स, ब्रह्मगिरी कर्नाटका, सुजाता स्तूपा बुद्धिस्ट स्तूप ना बिहार, द वॉरियर्स ऑफ सनौली उत्तर प्रदेश, मंगल बैनी दिल्ली. Coming to the post independence, uh, after 91 90 post independence, ठीक है, after 1947 two school of architecture emerged, revivalists and modernists. देखो बेसिकली बन तो गए, लेकिन उनके पास अभी भी वही कॉलोनियल पीरियड का जो आर्किटेक्चर चल रहा था. This had caused a decline in the standard of an architectural tradition of India. वहाँ से गिरना स्टार्ट हो. For example, Punjab government hired Lee Corbusier, a French architect, to design the city of Chandigarh. मतलब अगर इंडियन को यूज नहीं किया, फ्रेंच आर्किटेक्ट आ रहे हैं डिजाइन करने के लिए, तो फिर इट्स अच्छा. लेट्स मूव. Larry Baker, known as the architect of the poor, Larry Baker was responsible for the revolutionized mass housing concept in Kerala. In 2006, he was nominated for the Pritzker Prize, dubbed as the Nobel Prize of Architecture. Okay, some of the features of Pritzker Prize, similar to Nobel Prize, but in architecture. Environment friendly buildings बनाई उसने. कंसेप्ट ऑफ फिलर स्लैब कंस्ट्रक्शन, कंजप्शन में फिल करने से स्लैब मतलब लोहे का बनाने से अच्छा है कि आप उसको सिंगल सिंगल करो और बाकी उसमें सीमेंट फिल कर दो. ठीक है, दोनों की बचत हो जाएगी. माउस हाउसिंग प्रोजेक्ट इसका. वेंटिलेशन में थर्मल कंफर्ट. ही इज ऑल्सो नोन एज द कॉन्शियस कीपर ऑफ इंडियन आर्किटेक्ट, ऑल्सो known as conscience keeper of Indian architecture. Lauri Baker. Uh, Mass housing concept, Kerala. Charles Correa. He is also known as for work in urban architecture and spatial planning. He adopted modern architecture principles to local sensibilities and needs. He has designed buildings such as the Madhya Pradesh Assembly Building, Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Museum, etc. Okay, now Achyut Purushottam Kavinde. He was the eminent Indian architect who combined modern architecture with the elements of brutalist architecture. He was awarded with Padma Shri. He was associated with the construction of IIT Kanpur, National Science Centre Delhi, Dudhsagar Dairy Plants Mehsana, ISKCON Temple Delhi, and other buildings. Parliament House. A new Parliament building has been constructed in New Delhi as a part of Central Vista Development Project. 28 May को inaugurate हुई थी, and by the Bimal Patel architecture. The old Parliament building is built in Old Parliament हमारी built in 1927 by Herbert Baker and Lutyens, British architects. The construction was influenced by the Chauncet Yogini temple at Mithali in Madhya Pradesh. So this is basically so न्यू पार्लियामेंट दिखती है ऐसी, ठीक है। विमल पटेल से आर्किटेक्ट हैं, ठीक है। So this is all about the first chapter of Indian architecture and the sculptures. Basically, the architecture from very much ancient to the modern India. So now we'll just finish up here and we'll see what we have to do next lectures. We'll just basically revise this lecture 2-3 times. The whole lecture. Okay. Okay, thank you for listening.